Have you ever laid awake at night, haunted by the thought that you might live your entire life, never truly tapping into who you could have become? Do you feel a quiet dread each morning, knowing you're settling, repeating the same safe routines, because deep down you're terrified of what might happen if you actually went all in on your dreams? Are you tired of promising yourself tomorrow, secretly knowing tomorrow is just another lie you've grown comfortable telling? Listen, the next 90 days have the power to rewrite your story, not in some vague, hopeful sense, but in a real, tangible way that you'll see reflected in the mirror, in the confidence of your voice and in the clarity of your decisions. This isn't about another temporary surge of motivation that fades away. It's about stepping into a new identity, so powerful, so clear, and so undeniable that the fears that once paralyzed you become nothing more than distant echoes. Stick with me, because what you're about to discover isn't just another motivational talk. This is your blueprint to becoming someone you've never dared to believe was possible, until now. You've heard promises before, haven't you? Promises that whispered into your ear about change, but left you right where you started, standing in the shadows, watching others rise, wondering why transformation feels so elusive for you. But what if this time it was different? What if I told you that what you're about to hear isn't another hollow pep talk, but a proven roadmap that can reshape the next 90 days of your life into something extraordinary, something undeniable? Let me take you back a year ago to Brooklyn, New York. Picture Michael, an average guy, someone just like you, waking up to the harsh ring of an alarm, dreading the day ahead. Every morning felt like a battle against his own mind, heavy with doubt, riddled with procrastination. He knew he was drifting, yet couldn't quite grasp the reason why, until one crisp morning in late October he looked in the mirror and felt something snap inside him, a realization so sharp it cut through every excuse he'd ever made. If I keep living this way, tomorrow will look exactly like today. Have you ever felt that kind of fear? The fear that your future will be nothing but a blurred copy of your past, day after meaningless day. That fear became Michael's catalyst. The very moment he truly decided that something had to change. Now, understand this clearly. Transformation isn't magic, it's momentum. It's built brick by brick, day after day, through actions so small they seem almost insignificant, until suddenly they're not. And here's the dramatic truth you need to face right now. 90 days from today, you'll either meet a version of yourself, stronger, clearer, and unstoppable, or you'll meet regret, face to face, wondering why you hesitated again. Listen carefully. What comes next isn't just advice. It's your wake-up call, your turning point. This journey isn't for those who flirt with change. It's for those who crave it, breathe it, demand it. So lean in, open your mind, and brace yourself. Because what you'll discover next won't just inspire you, it'll demand you to act immediately, relentlessly, unapologetically. The life you're chasing isn't far away. It's 90 focused days from now, and it begins right here, right now. Let's be brutally honest for a second. How many times have you told yourself you're finally ready, finally committed, only to watch yourself quietly slip back into the comfort of old habits? Have you ever wondered why your resolutions never last? Why motivation always fades, leaving you stranded in a life you swore you'd never settle for? Because here's the stark truth. Motivation is fleeting. It's a spark, bright but brief, promising much, yet delivering little. Discipline, however, is the slow-burning fire beneath that spark, steady, relentless, unstoppable. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine Sarah living just outside Manhattan. At 29, she had a decent job, an okay apartment, friends she saw on weekends. Her life looked fine from the outside, but inside she felt trapped in mediocrity. She lived her days on autopilot, comforted by distractions, scrolling endlessly through her phone, numbing her anxiety with Netflix, always promising herself she'd change soon. But soon became weeks, weeks became months, and those months stretched silently into years. One evening, at a friend's birthday in Brooklyn, amid the laughter and noise, Sarah felt painfully detached, as if watching herself from afar. She realized suddenly, with a chill that ran through her bones, this was not living, it was merely existing. The fear surged sharply inside her, the fear of waking up at 50, having wasted decades waiting for someday. Now listen carefully, because this might be your story too. Sarah's mistake wasn't her lack of ambition, it was believing the myth that motivation alone would rescue her. She waited for inspiration, like it was some kind of magic. She waited for the perfect conditions to take action, the perfect mood, the perfect day, but perfection never came. Instead, her life slipped through her fingers, day after indistinguishable day. You see, discipline doesn't care if you're tired. Discipline doesn't ask if you're ready. Discipline moves, acts, persists, especially when motivation is nowhere to be found. And here's your wake-up call, the blunt truth you must face right now. Every moment spent hesitating, every moment spent waiting to feel like it, is another step toward regret. A regret so heavy it'll haunt you when your best years are gone. Think deeply. What if today was your last chance? What if this was the last video you ever watched before your life permanently slipped into quiet desperation? Would you finally act then? Would you finally wake up and realize that your dreams deserve more than half-hearted attempts and hollow promises? Because here's what's coming next. It's not just advice, it's your ultimatum. It's your opportunity to finally break free. Over these next 90 days, you have a chance, a genuine, structured chance to rewrite who you are, to stop being someone who waits for permission or motivation and start being someone who acts with unwavering discipline and clarity. This isn't just about feeling inspired. This is about becoming undeniable. If you're tired of watching opportunities drift by, tired of hiding behind excuses, understand this clearly. The next few moments will determine whether you remain trapped in a loop of stagnation or break through to a life that others will admire in awe. But make no mistake, there will be no more comfort zones, no more gentle nudges. Only raw honesty, powerful action, and a bold new blueprint await you. So here's your dramatic turning point, the question that will haunt you or drive you forward. Are you prepared to meet the version of yourself who never compromised, who refused to negotiate with weakness and doubt? Or will you continue to wait, hoping tomorrow brings something different, knowing deep down it won't? Stay focused, stay right here, because what you're about to discover isn't optional, it's essential. Your transformation is closer than you realize, but it demands a price, a decision right now from which you cannot retreat. Are you ready to commit, ready to step into the next 90 days of disciplined, relentless change? Because trust me, you're about to find out exactly how to do it. Have you ever wondered why two people from the exact same circumstances with the same challenges and the same opportunities can end up living completely different lives? Why one climbs steadily upward towards a success while the other remains stuck, forever hoping for better days? It's not luck, it's not fate, it's something far more profound and within your control, identity. Let me show you what I mean through the story of Daniel, a regular guy from Queens, New York. Daniel spent his 20s working a steady but soul-draining corporate job. Each morning, as the city woke up and its energy surged around him, Daniel felt detached, disoriented, like he was merely floating along, surviving but not truly living. Friends told him, "You're doing okay, Daniel," but inside he knew he wasn't. He knew he was made for more, yet he couldn't shake the feeling that life was slipping through his fingers. One chilly evening, after another exhausting day in midtown traffic, Daniel stopped at a coffee shop, the bright lights of Manhattan reflecting off the wet pavement, and as he waited, his eyes caught sight of an elderly man quietly writing in a notebook. Curious, Daniel struck up a conversation. The man's name was Robert. Robert had lived in New York his whole life, seen it all, felt it all, and when Daniel expressed his frustrations, Robert gently smiled and said something Daniel never forgot. "Young man, you're waiting for permission from the world, but the world doesn't give permission. You must give it to yourself." Those words shook Daniel to his core. And right now, ask yourself honestly, aren't you doing the same thing? Aren't you silently waiting for someone else, your boss, your parents, your peers, society, to validate you, to tell you it's okay to pursue your dreams, to act boldly, to change your identity? But what if I told you nobody else holds that power but you? Robert's words sparked a fire within Daniel, forcing him to confront an uncomfortable truth. He'd been living according to an identity handed to him by circumstance, not one he consciously chose. He realized that his habits, his routine, his entire mindset had been sculpted by external expectations rather than internal conviction. Think about this. How much of who you are right now was intentionally built by you, and how much was unintentionally shaped by others? Daniel made a crucial decision that night, a decision to rewrite his identity. Not someday, not when things felt right, but immediately. He stopped seeing himself as someone trapped in his job, trapped in routine, trapped by fear. He began waking up earlier, using the dawn hours to read, to journal, to visualize a new future, to reprogram himself with clarity and purpose. He started telling himself a different story. He became intentional, precise. He stopped living by accident. And slowly, unmistakably, his life shifted. Opportunities that once felt impossible began presenting themselves, not because the world had changed, but because Daniel had. Here's your dramatic warning, your moment of clarity. If you don't consciously shape your identity, Now, someone else or something else will do it for you. And trust me, that identity won't lead to fulfillment. It will only deepen your frustration and regret. This is your chance, your pivotal moment to define who you truly are. The identity you embrace today dictates the life you'll live tomorrow. So ask yourself, right here, right now, are you ready to stop waiting for permission, stop existing passively, and finally claim the identity you've always dreamed of? Because if you are, then what comes next isn't merely advice. It's the key to unlocking everything you've ever hoped your life could be. Lean in, listen closely, your true identity awaits. Have you ever paused to truly appreciate what you already have? Or are you too busy chasing what's next? Always hungry for more, yet feeling emptier than ever? Let me tell you about James, a successful young entrepreneur living in the heart of Manhattan, who seemed to have everything: the sleek apartment, the impressive career, the vibrant social circle. But beneath the surface, James was drowning in anxiety, constantly haunted by what he lacked rather than grateful for what he possessed. One rainy evening in November, feeling lost, James opened an old notebook his grandmother had left him, her handwriting gentle and timeless. Gratitude is the invisible force that unlocks joy. Those words pierced James deeply. Could something as simple as gratitude change the way he felt? What if acknowledging the good in his life was the key to finally feeling whole? Here's the truth. Without daily gratitude, you'll forever chase happiness, never realizing it's already within your grasp. Starting tonight, spend 5 minutes writing down 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small. This simple act shifts your perspective, rewires your brain, and transforms how you see the world around you. Don't underestimate this ritual, because the happiness you're desperate for isn't waiting in the future, it's hidden in plain sight, and gratitude is your only way to find it. Let me ask you something. How many times today did you check your phone? 5, 10, 20? Did you scroll mindlessly through endless updates, hoping for something meaningful, yet feeling emptier with every swipe? Let's be honest, when was the last time you sat in complete silence, truly present with yourself, disconnected from the digital noise that's slowly drowning out your dreams? Meet Lauren, a marketing executive living in Brooklyn, hustling through her days in a constant state of digital overload. Her life was an endless blur of emails, notifications, and social media alerts. Her phone was the first thing she touched in the morning, the last thing she checked at night. She was plugged in non-stop, yet paradoxically she had never felt so disconnected from herself, her dreams, and the people she cared about most. Then one evening something happened that shook her awake. Lauren had arranged dinner with her parents, a rare occasion given her busy schedule, but instead of enjoying the precious moment, her attention was hijacked by her buzzing phone. While she scrolled through trivial updates, her mother gently took the phone from her hand, looked deep into her eyes, and whispered softly but firmly, "Lauren, where are you? Because you're certainly not here." Those words cut deep, tearing through her illusion of productivity, success, and control. Where was I, indeed? Lauren wondered. Lost in digital chaos, trapped in a perpetual cycle of meaningless distractions, she'd forgotten what genuine presence felt like. Her life wasn't being enhanced by technology, it was being stolen, minute by minute. And what about you? Are you truly present in your life? Or has your phone quietly taken control, robbing you of your deepest connections and most meaningful moments? Here's the powerful truth you need to confront right now. Your mind craves clarity, but the digital chaos you invite daily is silently sabotaging your focus, creativity, and emotional peace. Studies have shown that constant digital distractions elevate stress, degrade cognitive performance, and impair your ability to achieve meaningful, lasting success. Your brain wasn't built for this relentless digital bombardment, and deep down, you know it. Imagine what your life could become if every day you intentionally disconnected, even just for an hour. What new ideas could emerge from the silence? What profound clarity could surface when the noise disappears, leaving room for your dreams to speak clearly again? Starting right now, commit yourself to a daily digital detox. 1 hour of total disconnection. No phones, no screens, no distractions. Just you, present and mindful. Perhaps you'll spend that hour in the quiet beauty of Central Park, or strolling along the banks of the Hudson, breathing deeply, reconnecting with the rhythm of life around you. Maybe you'll rediscover the simple joy of conversation, reading a powerful book, or journaling thoughts you've kept hidden beneath the noise. But whatever you choose, know this: if you don't reclaim your attention now, you risk waking up one day and realizing you've allowed technology to write your life story for you, a story filled with superficial moments and shallow connections, utterly lacking depth, passion, or purpose. Are you prepared to live with that regret, or will you dare, starting today, to reclaim your power, to silence the noise, reconnect with your inner voice, and finally live a life guided by intention rather than impulse? Make no mistake, this choice will shape your future, determine your legacy, and dictate the fulfillment you experience every day. Disconnect now and watch your true potential come alive in the quiet you've been craving all along. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something that genuinely scared you? Something bold, uncomfortable, something that challenged everything you thought about who you are? Or have you settled into comfort, quietly trading courage for security, risk for routine? Think carefully, because your answer reveals whether you're truly living or just existing. Now, let me tell you about Jake, a quiet guy from Queens. Jake spent years blending into the background, always careful not to ruffle feathers, terrified of rejection, failure, judgment. But Jake carried dreams, big dreams, dreams that whispered to him in quiet moments, dreams he desperately hid, afraid to even speak them aloud. Until one afternoon, standing on a bustling corner of Fifth Avenue, Jake watched a street performer passionately sing before a crowd, fearless, radiant, completely unbothered by the judgmental eyes around him. Watching that performance shook Jake awake, hitting him with a chilling realization. He wasn't avoiding risk, he was avoiding life itself. Can you relate to that fear? The paralyzing worry about what others might think, the dread of failure holding you hostage. Understand clearly, every day you avoid discomfort. You build a prison around your potential. Each avoided risk is a lost chance at greatness. Each hesitation quietly chokes the dreams you've buried deep inside. Starting right now, commit to one act of courage every single week. Speak to that person who intimidates you. Pitch your idea. Perform in public. Apply for that dream job. Because the hard truth is this: life won't wait for you to feel ready. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action despite fear. What if your biggest dreams lie just beyond the one courageous act you keep avoiding? Are you willing to remain trapped by comfort, or will you finally choose courage and discover the extraordinary life awaiting you on the other side? Have you ever stopped to notice the soundtrack playing in your mind? What voices are constantly whispering in your ears? Voices of doubt, anxiety, negativity? Or are you intentionally choosing messages that empower, uplift, and inspire you? Let me tell you about Alex, an aspiring writer from Manhattan who struggled deeply with self-doubt. Each rejection he received felt louder and heavier than the last, reinforcing the voice that told him, "You're just not good enough." Alex didn't realize that by allowing negativity to play on repeat, he was subconsciously sabotaging his own success. Then one cold winter morning, riding the crowded subway uptown, Alex overheard a podcast playing from someone's headphones, a powerful voice proclaiming, "Your thoughts become your reality. What you hear consistently shapes who you become." Those words struck Alex like a bolt of lightning. Could changing what he listened to actually rewire his beliefs and change his entire life? What if, instead of passively absorbing negativity, he deliberately filled his mind with powerful, inspiring ideas? Listen carefully. What you feed your mind consistently shapes your entire reality. It's a dangerous game to let negativity become your daily soundtrack, because eventually your mind believes every word it hears. Here's your wake-up call. If you don't intentionally program your mind with positivity, someone else will program it with fear and doubt. Starting now, every single day, dedicate at least 30 minutes to listening to powerful audiobooks, inspiring podcasts, or motivational talks. Flood your mind with wisdom from legends like Napoleon Hill, or empowering voices of today's leaders. Imagine what could change in your life if the voice inside your head encouraged rather than sabotaged you. Because the truth is, your dreams depend on what you choose to listen to. What story will you allow your mind to tell tomorrow? Let me ask you something personal. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thought that hits your mind? Is it strength, or is it fear, confidence, or doubt? You see, the conversation you have with yourself before the world even gets a chance to speak, that's the one that builds or breaks your identity. And most people, whether they realize it or not, wake up every day repeating silent lies to themselves. I'm not enough. It's too late for me. I'll never change. That voice, your internal script, is the most powerful force shaping your reality. And if you don't take control of it, it will be written for you by every failure you've experienced, every critic you've heard, every insecurity you've nurtured in silence. That's why we don't start the day by checking our phones or running through problems. We start the day by speaking power into our own reflection, because the mind believes what it hears repeatedly. Let me tell you about Brian, a school teacher from Jersey who felt invisible. Every day he poured his energy into others, but neglected the most important relationship in his life, the one with himself. He was dependable, humble, and quietly falling apart. One night, after a particularly exhausting week, Brian stumbled across a video. The speaker said, "If you don't feed your mind new beliefs, you will starve your potential." Something about that hit a nerve. Brian paused, walked to the mirror, and for the first time in years he said, "I am worthy, I am strong, I am becoming something greater." The next morning he said it again, and the next, and the next. The change wasn't instant, but over time, something inside him shifted. He started to carry himself differently. He stood taller. He spoke with conviction. He started making moves he had delayed for years. Why? Because he changed the programming. He stopped letting doubt speak louder than truth. That's what daily affirmations are. They're not cheesy lines or fake confidence. They are a daily reminder to your subconscious of the identity you're choosing. They're the mental reps you do to build inner strength. You don't lift once and expect a strong body. You don't affirm once and expect a powerful mind. It's repetition, it's reinforcement, it's rewiring. So I challenge you every morning before the noise of the world floods in, look yourself in the eye and declare your truth. Not the truth they gave you, the one you choose. Say, I am focused, I am disciplined, I am unshakable, I follow through, I rise. And when you feel weak, when fear creeps in, when the doubt starts whispering again, you remind yourself who you are out loud. Not in your head, out loud, because your voice is the signal. It's the command to your brain. And when your brain hears it enough, it starts to believe it. When it believes it, it starts to act on it. And when your actions change, so does your life. If you don't reinforce the mindset you need to win, you'll default to the one that's always held you back. That's not a maybe, that's a guarantee. So don't leave your identity to chance. Build it, speak it every single day. You're not just repeating words, you're building the next version of yourself. And that version, he doesn't wait to feel confident, he commands it. That version doesn't ask for permission, he becomes the proof. Start now, say it with me. This is who I am becoming. Say it again and again, until it becomes louder than your past, until it becomes real. Let me ask you something most people never stop to consider. How do you know you're growing? How do you measure the moments where you're winning silently, when no one's clapping, when no one's watching? You see, transformation doesn't announce itself. It creeps in, quietly, subtly, until one day you're standing in front of a mirror and you realize you're not the same anymore. But here's the catch. If you don't track it, you won't feel it. And if you don't feel it, you'll start believing nothing's happening. That's the trap. Let me tell you about Marcus, a 33-year-old software engineer from the Bronx. On the outside, he looked like he had it all together, but internally he was stuck, burned out, unfocused, lost in loops of self-doubt. Every night he'd lie in bed and wonder, why do I still feel like I'm failing? It wasn't until a mentor asked him a simple question, do you track your wins, that everything changed. At first, Marcus shrugged it off. Wins? He didn't think he had any. But the next morning he tried it anyway. A simple notebook, a date, one sentence. Woke up without hitting snooze. The next day, read 10 pages. Then did my full workout. And something strange happened. He began to feel proud. Not of the big leaps, but of the small, silent victories. The ones that used to slip by unnoticed. Over time, those check marks added up. Not just as data, but as evidence, proof, momentum. Marcus realized he wasn't stuck. He just wasn't looking closely enough. He was climbing the mountain the whole time. He just forgot to turn around and see how far he'd already come. Let this sink in. Your brain is wired to forget your progress. It protects you from ego, but it can also rob you of confidence. So if you don't record your growth, your mind will convince you you're still at the bottom. That's the danger. That's the lie. Starting today, build your system. Track your habits. Write down your wins. Use a journal, a calendar, an app, a whiteboard. It doesn't matter how, only that you do. Because when you see the streak, when you feel the chain of consistency, when you realize you've become someone who follows through, that's when belief takes root. That's when confidence becomes unshakable. That's when the story changes. And when you hit your goals, celebrate. Don't just move on to the next task. Pause, acknowledge the climb, clap for yourself, even if it's in silence. Because if you don't honor your progress, you'll never feel worthy of the result. Don't just build success. Feel it, track it, own it, every step, every rep, every single win. Picture this, it's 6 a.m., exactly 90 days from now. The city's still quiet, the air is crisp. You open your eyes, no snooze, no hesitation. You stand up without thinking because your mind is no longer asking, should I? It's already decided. You've become the kind of person who moves before the doubt arrives. You walk to the mirror and for a second you stare, not just at your reflection, but at someone unrecognizable. Not because your face has changed, but because your energy has, your posture, your stillness, your presence. You don't look like someone chasing goals, you look like someone who's already won the internal war. Because in these 90 days, you didn't just build habits, you burned the old blueprint, you stopped waiting, you stopped negotiating. You stopped chasing approval, comfort, shortcuts, and in its place you built something permanent: discipline, focus, identity. You didn't just survive the hard days. You showed up because they were hard. You didn't let the doubt win. You didn't let the excuses speak louder than your future. Now pause and ask yourself, what version of you will be standing there 90 days from now? The one who followed through, or the one who's still explaining why he didn't? This moment right here, it's not about hype, it's about truth. It's about the decision you make now, not tomorrow, not next Monday. Because delay is the language of your past. Commitment is the vocabulary of your future. So here's the call. Lock in. Burn the exit. Build the structure. Speak it out loud. Comment it. Claim it. Say, I'm in, and don't look back. Because the only thing standing in between you and that future you, the one who walks with power, who speaks with certainty, who earns respect without needing to prove a word, is 90 days of undistracted, undeniable commitment. And remember this, no one needs to believe in your transformation. They don't need to see it yet. Let them doubt, let them wonder where you went. Because when you reappear, you won't need to explain anything. The results will speak. The energy will announce it, and the silence will echo louder than anything you've ever said before. You don't need to be seen right now. You just need to become undeniable. Now go. Shut the door. Burn the excuses. Start the countdown. The next 90 days are yours. Disappear with discipline. Reappear with results.